What separates the top 1% from everyone else isn't luck, talent, or intelligence. It's something far less glamorous, something no one applauds you for while you're doing it. It's the grind when no one is watching. The silent discipline of pushing forward when your body aches, your mind resists, and every excuse in the world sounds valid. The truth is, you won't always feel like working, but that's when it matters the most. That's the lever you can always pull. It's not about talent, it's about consistency. You can beat people who are better than you simply because you outlasted them. It's the voice in your head, the one that says you've done enough, the one that says you deserve a break, the one that tells you to slow down because no one else will know, but you will know. And how you respond to that voice determines your future. They stopped when it got tough. You didn't. They paused when life got messy. You kept going. They understand that mastery is not found in bursts of passion, but in repeated effort over time. They've learned to fall in love with the process. That's what gives them the edge. The difference between average and elite isn't about what you do when you're motivated. It's what you do when you're not. They didn't reach the top because they had perfect days. They got there because they dominated the imperfect ones. The days when the alarm felt heavier than usual. The days when their mind screamed for relief. The days they felt invisible and doubted everything. But they kept moving. They kept showing up. And that consistency compounded into greatness. When you're tired, uninspired, and uncertain, yet you still show up. That's the real secret. Most people are waiting to feel ready. It's not a fuel you can rely on. Discipline, however, is the engine that keeps running. It doesn't care how you feel. It only knows the task. And here's the uncomfortable truth. If you want to be extraordinary, you must outwork everyone even on the days you'd rather do anything else. They tell themselves they'll begin when they're in the mood, when the stars align, when it feels right. But champions show up regardless. They've trained themselves to act without permission from their emotions. You see, motivation is a great spark, but it fades fast. Let's be honest. There will always be someone smarter, more connected, more naturally gifted than you. But hard work, that's your equalizer. But that kind of work ethic doesn't happen by accident. It's built deliberately. It starts with choosing the harder path over and over. It's waking up early when sleeping in is easier. It's hitting the gym when the couch is calling your name. It's doing one more rep, one more email, one more uncomfortable step toward your goals, especially when no one is cheering you on. You want to outwork everyone? Then understand this. Your biggest opponent isn't other people. The winners of the world are not the ones who avoid discomfort. They are the ones who embrace it. They've made peace with boredom. Think about the most successful people you admire. The truth is, every time you choose discipline over comfort, you build something in yourself that can't be taken away. You build mental toughness. You build trust with yourself. You build momentum. And in a world where most people give up after a few tries, that alone makes you dangerous. You may not control your circumstances, but you control your effort. When no one sees you grinding at midnight, when no one congratulates you for waking up early, when no one claps for the effort you put in behind the scenes, that's where champions are made. Every single day, you have a choice. Will you be average, or will you be relentless? Will you coast, or will you claw your way toward your goals? Because let me tell you something, while you're debating whether you feel like it, someone else is already doing it. Are you willing to sacrifice comfort for purpose? Are you ready to be the kind of person who gets up and grinds, even when it would be easier not to? While you're resting on potential, someone else is turning theirs into reality. And the gap widens every day you hesitate. It bends for the disciplined, and it rewards those who show up every single day, regardless of how they feel. This doesn't mean you never rest, but here in the grind. So stand up, lock in, and outwork everyone. You need the ability to get up when everything in you says stay down. That's what separates the good from the legendary. Work when it's hard. Work when it's lonely. Work when it's thankless. The world rewards the few who refuse to quit. Rest is strategic. Burnout is real. But there's a difference between recovery and avoidance. Rest when it's earned, not when it's convenient. Most people rest before they've even started. They use tiredness as an excuse, not a diagnosis. But you're built differently. You don't wait for the right conditions. You create them. You don't need applause or validation. You know that real growth happens in silence. You're not here to play small. You're not here to blend in. You're here to rise above. And that means working harder, smarter, and more consistently than the next person. That means pushing yourself beyond comfort, beyond doubt, beyond excuses. Look, feeling unmotivated is normal. Everyone experiences it. But what you do during those moments defines who you become. When you push through that resistance, you're proving to yourself that you're not a slave to emotion. You're in control. That's power. That's self-mastery. Every great comeback story, every underdog victory, every legendary rise to success, it all comes down to one thing: work. So ask yourself, how bad do you want it? Are you willing to work through the pain? Because if you are, then let me tell you something, there's no one who can stop you. The world moves for the relentless. You don't need motivation to become great. You need drive. You need hunger. This is your reminder that your future is being shaped right now, in this moment. Not in some fantasy where everything feels easy. Because if you don't, someone else will.